Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Let Me Think podcast. I am your host. My name is Emily, along with my co host, Gosha, who is also here. You want to say hi?
Hi. Hello. Hi.
And this is our first ever episode of this podcast. So let me introduce myself and then I'll turn it over to Gosha. I am a writer. I write about spirituality, lots of posts about twin flames. I'm writing a book about twin flames, but also about meditation, consciousness, philosophy. And I also coach people spiritually. I teach meditation, I do tarot readings. So I am located in Maryland in the United States. And Gosha, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. My name is Gosia. I'm based in the UK. I'm also a coach, but I specify in self-love and self-worth. I also write about spirituality, conscious living, and well, basically aiming to inspire people to live fulfilling and happier life. That's what I do.
Where are you located?
I'm located in the UK, but I'm originally come from Poland, but been living in the UK for quite some time, over 10 years now.
Awesome. So, this week's or this episode's topic is overthinking and trust, which a lot of us
Trust.
struggle with. This is a topic
Mm,
that can help anyone, but we're going to take it on a spiritual perspective.
yeah.
But so a lot of us overthink, maybe all of us, but some of us really have a propensity to overthink. And I think the way to balance that is to trust more. Trust that everything
Mm.
is happening exactly as it needs to be. What do you think, Gosha?
Yes, I do agree. I feel like we just not being taught that. We're just being taught to control everything and control it from the mind, from the intellect side of view. That we need to control everything, every single detail in our life, because there's the life cannot be trusted, and that's why so many people overthink, thinking they can sort out their problems just by thinking. But from my experience, I wonder what your views are about this. But from my experience, is that every time I let go of overthinking and I turn inward and listen to my heart, my intuition, that's usually when the solution pops up.
Yes, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I'll take it a step further and say that for me, meditation has been the key for all of this. When you meditate, you're looking inward. You are learning about your own mind and how it works, and seeing that there, like you said, there are answers there that you've been looking for the whole time. So usually,
Yeah.
overthinking seems to be when we're looking outside ourselves for the answer. And many
Mm-hmm.
times, the most important answers we have are not anywhere to be found. It's impossible to have an answer about something that's going to happen in the future or what I'm supposed to be doing right now in my life. Uh,
Yeah, that's right. And that's right. And all of us, there's not a single person on this earth who hasn't got a voice, but many of us just ignore it, right?
an inner
Like
voice, yeah.
inner voice, yeah. There is this voice that you can't quite grasp it. You can't quite understand where it's coming from, but you kind of know. It's like a knowing of what you're supposed to be doing, what where you're supposed to go, who you're supposed to meet. Like it's just like an internal guidance that so many of us just disregard because we're being taught to just listen to our mind. But unfortunately, our mind is being led by fear, mainly by our ego.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So the fear is the main thing, and fear can manifest in many ways. Like it can come to you in the form of anxiety, which leads to overthinking, or
Mm,
just like feeling like you're not in control of your life. But the fact is, none of us are really in control of our lives. You have to surrender
Mm,
and trust, but you have to surrender to what is going on around you and trust that it is going to turn out uh, the way it's supposed to, the best possible way for you. You have to trust that the universe has got your back.
that's right.
Because, yeah,
And why would we trust? Well, or maybe I should first ask, why don't we trust? What's
yeah.
what's wrong with us that we don't trust?
Well, I just think because we're born into this world feeling that separation um, as we are
Mm,
incarnated here. We see ourselves. Well, I guess it takes a few years of our lives actually to really see yourself as a separate human being from other human beings, separate from the world around you. If we
yeah,
taught kids to see themselves as part of the world and not separate, then maybe people wouldn't have so much anxiety. But since we are taught by society to see ourselves as individuals, we we feel more and more like we're supposed to be doing something, and we are not in control of our situations. And then we don't trust because we don't see that we are completely connected to everyone and everything around us. If we
yeah,
see that, then we would totally understand our place in it and everything going on in it all, everything
yeah,
happening. We would see our place.
yeah. Well, I see it in a way that we, from very early age, we're being taught to survive. We're being taught to meet our needs, but only the basic, the standard needs, that we need to secure ourselves financially. So we need to get a job, and we're not being taught to lead from the heart, but from the mind instead. So slowly, as the children are being raised and they observe everyone around them that's basically living in fear and doing things out of obligation and thinking they should do them instead of want to do them.
Yeah.
And by observing, specifically children, because their the brain is like a sponge. They are in theta, their brains are in theta state, so they absorb information very quickly. So by looking outside of themselves and seeing their parents living the way they're living, they basically repeat the same patterns later in life. And because we're not being empowered to just be authentic and follow our heart, our truth, our passions, but instead to meet our survival needs, then we end up in, well, everybody, most people on this world ends up in a place where they just do things out of obligation, out of fear. That's how I see that's how I see that.
Yeah, I agree. And so when you are always trying to achieve things in your life to just out of security against something like um, you want money to be secure against the future because you know there's uncertainty, but you feel like you can't trust that you're going to be taken care of by the universe. You've lost your trust. So you feel like it's up to you to create a security net, and then you start making decisions that you wouldn't make if you did trust that everything's going to end up how it should. You're going to be taken care of. You start making choices out of fear, and then you're not
Mm,
happy because you've taken a job you don't like, or you are in a situation you don't like. Or same thing with relationships. You choose
mm,
relationships in your life that feel like they're secure, they feel
mm,
comfortable, because you're scared of trying something very different or new, or being on your own, because that is scary to you. You want the security of something that feels like the status quo. Um,
yeah,
if you just trusted that the universe is bringing you exactly what you need, and you should just take advantage of your opportunities that are presented to you, just blindly trusting and jumping into it, you might be happier. But because most of us have lost that trust that we're being taken care of by divine force,
Mm,
and that we are
yeah,
completely connected to everything. It's not even some other thing that's taking care of you. It's you taking care of you, that you are choosing something that is right for you on your path in life, and that will open up new doors that you have manifested through your choices. You have to trust that.
yeah. You have to trust that. But it's so hard to trust, right? It's so hard because we don't believe there is a divine plan in place, right? We just don't believe that we are always guided and supported. And it's really hard to blame anybody for feeling that way because we're not being empowered to just go with the flow. We are taught to push and hustle and stress and just worry about life. But when we trust, when we lean into trust, that's when the soul purpose opens up in front of us. But we just need to take a leap of faith and trust that everything what's happening in my life is happening for a reason, and it's happening to help me manifest the life that is meant to have, not even the life that I want to have, but the life that I'm meant to have. But in the end, what I feel like many people think is that they have to know exactly what they want. I know we now going, I'm going in towards manifesting route, but I just wanted to mention that because many people just think like they need to come up with what it is that they want, who they want to be. But what I found is that the most easy, flowy way to be happy, to get to where you know you're gonna be happy, is to just be peaceful and accept what is in the present moment.
Yeah, if you sometimes you what you want and what you're supposed to have are different, but if you start wanting what you already have, that's gratitude. That's when
Yeah,
you already have the things that you change what you want to be what you already have. That's living in gratitude. And then you change what you want to whatever it is that will be given to you, that you then you're in alignment with, and you're in flow, and you're releasing expectations, you're releasing your ex did I just say expectations and desires
yeah,
and
yeah,
your and everything that is um that you've been noticing that you don't have, that's
mm,
keeping you in fear, because you are like, I don't have this, but I want it, and how am I going to get it? And then you start making choices desperately to get there. But if you start changing the way you think to knowing, I have everything I need right now, and whatever happens to me is supposed to happen, and I trust that, then you
mm,
change your mindset, and you're happier, and
yeah.
you're not in fear.
Also releasing the attachments, right, of how the things should look like, in what form they should be. Um, that's how we release the resistance, and we just allow for things to flow, for the things that we meant to have in our life that will fulfill us, because that's how it works. When we allow ourselves to be guided, we basically allowing the path to open up, the path that will fulfill us.
Yeah.
And we don't even have to logically think about it and stress ourselves and strive. We can just let go and let the life be.
Yeah.
And it takes so much courage, and It does, but it's so rewarding and also so calming and peaceful on a daily basis. Because you just have to remind yourself that you are always guided and supported, and you don't really have to force anything.
No.
Even what I would say, if you have to force something, that means you have to take a step back,
Yeah.
because it's not supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be hard as we're being taught from very little when
Yeah.
we're children.
Yeah, you're just in flow. There's no resistance. And the on what you just said about overthinking, it's like you can apply logic and rationality to certain things in our physical world
Mm-hmm.
to get answers. But when you start using logic and rationality to deduce what's happening in your life path and what's happening around you that is out of your control seemingly, then that just doesn't work. And that's when you start
Mm.
overthinking, because you're like, if I just think about this enough, the answer will be there. But that's not true.
Yeah.
In reality, there's things about this life that thinking and thinking and thinking about will not change or make better. In fact, if you don't think about it and you surrender to it, at least you'll be happier, and it might actually energetically change what is going on around you. That's what I
Yeah. Yeah, you become a magnet to the things that are meant to be,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And it's beautiful. It takes away all the stress, all the worry, because you know that what is meant for you will not miss you.
right, right. It won't miss you. It'll come to you.
Yeah.
Maybe all the same things will still happen, but at least you'll be happier about the whole journey, about every situation, because you'll just trust. Well, it's this way right now. Tomorrow it might not be.
Mhm.
Life is a roller coaster, and I'm just going to enjoy the ride.
That's right. It's best to enjoy the ride instead of just controlling everything. You can just let things be, let things happen, and just have that knowing that everything's happening for a reason, and whatever's meant to be will happen in divine timing.
Yeah,
But it's worth to remember that we are not here to only get what we want or just to be happy. We're here to learn lessons. And those lessons can come in different ways, and they may not always be pleasant. But it's something we need to go through to get to a place where we eventually be happy and fulfilled and healed.
yeah, I agree. Well, I think we have said enough about this topic. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, I think we did. Yeah. I hope that was helpful, though.
Helpful to our listeners and our viewers. So, this is our first episode of the Let Me Think
Thing.
podcast. We're very excited. And to find us, my website is wellnessoneness.com. And I'm also wellness underscore oneness on Instagram. What about you?
Mine's a bit more complicated because it consists of my original Polish name. We will link it down below. I was actually thinking of changing
Say
the
it
name to
anyway.
make it easier for people.
Malgorzata
It
underscore
it's
Vietco.
Małgorzata underscore Vietko.
That's
Yeah,
Instagram. What about your
and
website?
that's Instagram. Website is Małgorzata Vietko.com.
That's not that
We'll link
complicated.
we'll
That's
link it down
in
below.
the
Um,
caption for the details. So,
I think it's worth mentioning that we also have a spiritual community called the Awakening Planet that was created by us to help awakening people on their spiritual journey and also provide community. We also have live events where we talk about conscious living, and we have tarot readings, and we have so much fun.
yeah.
Um,
So that's on Patreon. That's The Awakening Planet. It's also on Instagram. What is it? The underscore awakening underscore planet.
Yes, it
If
is.
you want to find us. So it
So
was
if you're
wonderful.
looking for any spiritual guidance, then feel free to join us. And we hope you enjoyed our podcast.
Yeah. Until next time, everyone.
Until until next time.
Bye.
Bye.